time, put your hands together, wait and welcome, make some noise, you welcome to
You are here.
I'm here.
You are here, everyone. Alycia Debnam Carey. Who plays Alycia? Fabulous Alycia on Fear the Walking Dead, and who is having a great season. I think the show, it's having its best season, and Alycia is having her best season.
Oh, and the best is yet to come too.
Do tell.
Well, the second half is just my favorite. It's all about to heat up everything. She just goes into like a whole other level. It's like new game.
I love that. Well, let's go back to the beginning a little bit. When we first met Alycia, she was about to go off to UC Berkeley, this very good college, very prestigious college, and then of course not, because of the apocalypse, and now
a few things got in the way.
A few things happened, little changes in the world. How do you think she has evolved from that Alycia to the Alycia that we see in season 3?
I think that's one of the fun things about this show for me has been the full evolution of a character going from one age to another age, being a teenager and being, having some very normal ambitions, being wanting to go to UC Berkeley and just having a boyfriend and it all being quite normal, and then now we see her actually as her own individual, and she's not a sister anymore, she's not just a daughter, she's her own person, and we just keep seeing that more and more. And it was hard at first because I think playing a teenager can be quite difficult. You have a stereotype that is already in place of what a teenage daughter sometimes is, which is, dismissive, a little petulant, like difficult at times, surly kind of thing. And so to be able to break out of that and have this character go through so much and so many traumatic experiences, you get to define them in very specific ways. And so that was really, really fun. And now we're at a place where she is her own person and having to take a lot more responsibility for her actions and make decisions, and it's great. Yeah.
She has been, to say the least, she's been rattled a few times. In the first season, the death of her boyfriend, Matt, who was, there's a lot of chaos in her family, with Nick being a drug addict and her father, who Nick at least believes committed suicide. So there was probably a lot of depression there. Her mother is a very strong woman, but still, that probably was a pretty chaotic household.
Yeah.
And then the death of her boyfriend, who was kind of her touchstone. He was from a very kind of grounded family. In season 2, she had to kill someone to save someone else that she loved. In season 3, she loses that person then. Do you think that she is emerging to be as strong as her mother?
Yes. And I think in very different ways. There's elements of Madison that are quite... There's a rogue quality to her. There's an unpredictableness to Madison with what she might do, who she might manipulate, what she's willing to do, as we saw in the first half of this season. She did some pretty crazy things. And I think Alycia is going through all this too, but she's somehow managed to keep a sense of herself, or a groundedness of searching for what matters and what she can hold on to. And we've seen that kind of existential struggle in the first half, and then this second half is really a testing point of how far will it take for her to snap, and then if that happens, like where you can, those morals and those ethics, where they come into play, so you don't necessarily become just a monster. And it's interesting, the second half with Madison, she starts talking about her father and, like what happened to her dad, and so those relationships, like I think you can either become your mother or you can become very different from your mother. And I think that's a balance that Alycia is aware of.
Do you mean that she's talking to her mother about Madison's father or about Alycia's father?
Madison's father.
Okay.
She talks,
yeah. The big reveal
the big
there.
Reveal. But then that's the thing, Alycia has then her own father story that's very tragic in its own way.
Ooh.
And I think that's, with her telling that's was a suicide, and
Right.
and I think you've got to. I think she wants to choose a different path for herself.